Have you ever wondered what really happens if you stop this private habit in your later years? What if something you've ignored for years turns out to be the key to better health and emotional balance? Could a simple act of self-care help you stay independent, confident, and in control as you age? Most people don't realize it, but avoiding masturbation in old age can lead to some surprising and unexpected changes in your body. As we grow older, it's easy to dismiss self-pleasure, assuming it's no longer necessary or even relevant. But what many seniors overlook is that the body continues to benefit from this kind of stimulation, just in different, deeper ways than before. It's no longer just about physical release. It becomes a vital part of keeping certain systems functioning smoothly, staying emotionally grounded, and maintaining a strong connection to your own body. In this video, we'll explore 6 specific things that can happen to older men when they stop masturbating completely. Some of these effects may truly surprise you. From noticeable physical shifts in your body to more subtle emotional changes, each point reveals something bigger about the aging process and what your body still craves, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Make sure you watch until the very end, because the final point could completely transform how you think about your own health, confidence, and sense of personal freedom. This isn't about embarrassment or shame. It's about understanding your body, respecting it, and learning how to age with strength, clarity, and self-awareness. Let's begin. Number 1. Weakening of the pelvic floor muscles. One of the lesser-known effects of avoiding masturbation in old age is the slow weakening of your pelvic floor muscles. These muscles aren't something most men think about regularly, but they're crucial for everything from bladder control to sexual function. When they aren't stimulated often, especially through the natural contractions that occur during arousal and climax, they can begin to lose their strength over time. Gradually, these muscles lose their tone and strength. At first, you might notice only subtle changes, perhaps a slight leak when you cough or sneeze, or feeling the need to visit the bathroom more often. But as time passes, these small inconveniences can grow into larger challenges. For some older men, this weakening results in incontinence or difficulties with achieving or maintaining an erection. Surprisingly, it's not always due to blood flow issues or shifting hormone levels. Sometimes it's simply because the muscles that support these functions have gone inactive. The body operates much like a machine. When certain parts aren't used regularly, they tend to become stiff, weaken, or even break down faster than expected. The pelvic region is no exception. It needs consistent stimulation and engagement to remain strong and functional. Sure, activities like walking, stretching, or gentle exercise can help. But the unique muscle contractions that happen during sexual release provide distinct benefits to this area. Benefits that can't easily be replaced by other activities. There's also a deeper emotional connection to this physical process. As pelvic floor muscles weaken, it can trigger a troubling sense of losing control. Some men describe feeling embarrassed, less self-assured, or even ashamed. Over time, these emotions can quietly grow into more serious patterns, such as withdrawing from social situations or losing the motivation to stay physically active. What starts as a minor physical concern can easily ripple into your mindset and daily lifestyle. It's not about chasing youth or turning back time. It's about maintaining the body's essential systems so you can preserve your freedom, mobility, and sense of dignity for as long as possible. Think of it like brushing your teeth to prevent decay. This intimate yet natural practice can help you prevent declines before they even begin. For many older men who stop masturbating entirely, the first sign that something has shifted doesn't come from their mind. Instead, it's often noticed in a sudden moment of urgency, a leak in the bathroom, or the unsettling realization that their body isn't responding quite the way it used to. The encouraging news is that this is something you can change. You don't need to make drastic changes to your life. You simply need to stay connected to your body. Asís. Engaging with it in ways that are natural, private, and consistent. That simple connection, even just a few times a week, can have a lasting impact on keeping your body functioning well and your confidence intact. Keeping your pelvic health intact is essential. Number 2. Decreased blood flow to the genitals. When an older man completely stops masturbating, one of the earliest, often unnoticed changes is the slow decline in blood circulation to the genital area. At first, it might not seem like much of a concern, but over time, this lack of regular circulation starts to impact not only the health and sensitivity of the area, but even its appearance. Like every part of the body, this region depends on regular stimulation to stay responsive, nourished, and healthy. Without those periodic boosts in blood flow, the tissues can gradually begin to stiffen or even shrink slightly, losing elasticity along the way. Some men find they no longer feel as much physical sensation as they once did. Others notice it takes longer to become aroused, or that their erections feel weaker or less satisfying than before. Surprisingly, the root cause isn't always just the natural aging process. In many cases, it's the simple fact that the area hasn't been used regularly enough, accelerating the decline. Blood flow isn't just about circulation. It delivers oxygen and nutrients, clears away waste, and keeps the nerves sharp and responsive. This holds true whether you're in your 20s or well into your 70s. However, as we get older, the body naturally has to work harder to maintain steady blood circulation. So, when sexual activity stops completely, even solo activity, you're cutting off one of the few remaining natural ways to keep that part of the body alive, flexible, and functioning. Think about what happens when someone stops using their hands or legs for an extended time. Those muscles weaken, joints stiffen, and over time, even simple movements can become difficult or painful. The same principle applies here. What isn't used doesn't just sit idle. It begins to deteriorate slowly, quietly, and often without being noticed until the change is already significant. This decline doesn't just affect physical health, it also impacts your self-confidence, sometimes in ways that are hard to pinpoint at first. When things in that area no longer feel the same, it can subtly start to affect your mood, your energy, and even your overall sense of vitality. That shift in confidence doesn't stay limited to intimate moments. It can show up in how you carry yourself throughout daily life, how comfortable you feel in social settings, or whether you start avoiding situations where you once felt confident and connected. This isn't about chasing after fleeting pleasures. It's about preserving function, maintaining health, and keeping your sense of well-being strong. When blood flow decreases, your body begins to lose more than just sensation. It risks losing the very connection that keeps you feeling vibrant and alive. When you maintain even a small, consistent connection with yourself, you're sending your body a clear message: this still matters. In response, your body works to keep those systems functioning, staying ready and alive. If you've started to notice a decrease in sensation, energy, or responsiveness, and you haven't been active with yourself for a while, this might be a missing piece of the puzzle. A bit of attention to this area can bring surprising improvements, not just in how you feel physically, but also in how you move and how deeply you reconnect with your own body. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, take a moment to comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content designed to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Number 3. Hormonal imbalance and mood shifts. One of the most overlooked effects of giving up masturbation in older age is how it impacts your hormone levels, especially testosterone, dopamine, and oxytocin. These aren't just complex terms doctors like to use. They are essential chemical messengers that regulate your energy, mood, motivation, and even your sense of identity as a man. When you stop stimulating your body in this familiar, intimate way, your brain slowly decreases its natural production of these vital hormones. Testosterone is key for maintaining muscle mass, bone strength, mental clarity, and sexual drive. Dopamine plays a major role in focus, motivation, and that rewarding sense of satisfaction that makes you want to take action and engage with life. Oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, subtly supports emotional stability and connection, even when you're alone. Without these regular hormonal boosts, a gradual imbalance can creep in. You may begin to feel more sluggish throughout the day, a little more irritable for reasons you can't quite explain, or even mildly depressed. You might sleep longer but wake up feeling less refreshed. You may also struggle to find excitement in activities that once brought you happiness. If you simply blame these changes on aging, you might be overlooking a key factor. Sometimes, it's not just the passage of time. It's the quiet absence of self-connection that slowly shifts the way your body and mind feel day to day. What makes this issue even more challenging is how quietly it develops. The decline doesn't happen overnight. It's subtle, almost silent, and that makes it harder to recognize. You may not immediately connect the dots, but when a man's body stops engaging in regular release, even just once or twice a week, his hormone levels can shift, and not always in a positive direction. Some studies suggest that even occasional sexual stimulation can help maintain more stable testosterone levels in older men. This can lead to better energy, sharper thinking, and even stronger bones and muscles over time. It's not about setting a strict routine or following some rigid schedule just to stay balanced. The key point here is that your body is always listening. When you eliminate one of its natural methods of self-regulation, other systems begin to feel the impact as well, including your emotions. Many older men who stop self-pleasure entirely report feeling emotionally flat or more anxious. But they may not realize that it's not just the physical act they're missing, it's the hormonal rhythm that comes with it. Without that natural release, the brain doesn't receive its usual signal of comfort, the quiet reassurance that says, "We're okay, we're alive, we're still engaged in life." This can gradually affect the way you interact with others, too. You may find yourself pulling back socially, feeling irritated more easily, or simply lacking the motivation to engage in conversations or activities that once felt enjoyable. You might even lose interest in intimacy, not because your desire has vanished, but because your body has stopped sending the signals that create that drive in the first place. But here's the good news. This is something you can shift gently and naturally. A small, guilt-free return to self-intimacy can help reintroduce these hormonal benefits. It doesn't have to feel like a big deal. You're not doing it for performance or for anyone else's approval. You're doing it to restore balance, regain mental clarity, and reconnect with yourself in a healthy, respectful way. The goal isn't to turn back time. It's to support the body you have right now, allowing it to regulate, heal, and function as it's meant to. Number 4. Increased risk of prostate congestion. This is a more physical, yet often overlooked consequence of stopping masturbation in old age. Prostate congestion isn't something that typically comes up in everyday conversation. Still, it's a very real and common issue among older men. The prostate gland, the prostate, which plays a vital role in producing semen, can become sluggish and congested when there's no regular release. Here's what happens behind the scenes. Your prostate continues to create fluid as part of its natural function, even if you're no longer sexually active. When ejaculation doesn't occur on a consistent basis, that fluid has nowhere to go. Over time, this buildup can lead to an uncomfortable sense of pressure, discomfort, or even a dull, aching feeling in the lower abdomen or groin. Some men report a sensation of fullness or an annoying, nagging soreness without any clear explanation. Others may not feel anything at all, until one day the discomfort suddenly appears, often catching them off guard. This is particularly important to understand because prostate congestion isn't just uncomfortable, it can lead to more serious problems. It raises the risk of inflammation, causes difficulty with urination, and may result in more frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom. Some studies suggest that regular ejaculation, whether through partnered intimacy or solo activity, can lower the risk of developing certain prostate issues, including inflammation and, potentially, specific types of cancer. This doesn't mean you need to be active every single day, but consistency is key. Much like stretching your legs after sitting for too long, the prostate needs occasional stimulation to function well. Otherwise, it's like a clogged faucet. Pressure builds up inside, but there's no outlet for release. That hidden pressure can gradually show up in unexpected ways, often in symptoms you wouldn't immediately connect to your sexual health. Now, here's where the emotional aspect comes in. When prostate problems emerge, many men instinctively blame themselves or feel too embarrassed to talk about it. They might avoid mentioning it to their doctor or even ignore the fact that something feels off. But this isn't about shame or fault. It's about understanding how your body operates, especially as you grow older. There's nothing embarrassing about knowing what your body needs and taking action to care for it. In fact, being proactive about your prostate health can spare you from unnecessary pain or complications later on. More importantly, it can offer peace of mind. Some older men have shared personal stories about going years without any kind of sexual release, thinking it no longer mattered, until they began noticing how much better they felt after reintroducing that simple, natural habit back into their lives. Some men have shared their experiences of struggling with urination or dealing with unexplained pain. But after making small adjustments, by slowly reintroducing occasional sexual stimulation, they began to notice not only physical relief, but also a surprising improvement in how they felt throughout the entire day. It became clear that this wasn't about indulgence or weakness. It wasn't about chasing youthful thrills. It was simply a form of maintenance, smart, mindful care for one of the most often overlooked parts of the male body. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please take a moment to comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Your support helps us keep creating thoughtful, informative content designed to inspire and empower you. Now, let's move on. Number 5. Increased emotional tension and irritability. This is one of those hidden consequences of giving up masturbation in later life that many men simply don't recognize at first. You might notice feeling a little more irritable than usual. Perhaps small things that once wouldn't bother you now get under your skin. Or maybe you find yourself pulling away from people without fully understanding why. In the beginning, it may seem harmless, just a rough day, poor sleep, or ordinary stress. But over time, when emotional tension builds without a healthy release, it can start to impact both your mood and your personal relationships in ways you never expected. Masturbation, especially in older age, isn't just about physical release. It also serves as a powerful emotional outlet. It offers a private, quiet space where your body can release pent-up tension and where your mind can reset, even for just a few minutes. While it may sound simple, this practice can be remarkably effective in lowering stress hormones and giving your nervous system a chance to breathe. Without that outlet, especially in a life that may already include health issues, loneliness, or caregiving responsibilities, your emotional load can slowly begin to overflow. And because this buildup happens quietly, beneath the surface, it often shows up in ways you don't intend. You might notice yourself snapping at loved ones, feeling constantly frustrated, or struggling to relax, even when everything seems fine on the outside. You may not even realize that this shift in your emotional state began when you stopped all forms of intimate self-connection. For many older men, managing emotions becomes harder when this quiet, personal release is no longer part of their life. Emotional regulation often becomes more challenging with age, not because we lose our wisdom, but because the pressures of life continue to build while our emotional outlets slowly disappear. Friends pass away, familiar routines shift, and physical limitations begin to take hold. Without a healthy release valve, all that emotional tension just sits there, quietly building up and searching for an outlet. Some men turn to food or alcohol as a way to cope. Others withdraw from social interactions, isolating themselves without realizing it. Yet one of the most natural, gentle ways to release that built-up pressure is through self-stimulation. It serves as a quiet, personal reminder that your body still functions, your needs still matter, and your well-being is worthy of attention. This act doesn't have to be dramatic, nor does it need to follow a strict routine. But its complete absence, especially when paired with increasing stress, can leave you feeling disconnected, weighed down, and emotionally stuck. There's also something deeply important about reclaiming control within your own private space. When you allow yourself to express emotion, whether through laughter, touch, or release, you're granting yourself permission to feel again. In a world that often expects older men to be stoic, strong, and silent, this small act can feel like a breath of fresh air. It's not about solving every problem with a single action. It's about recognizing that emotional health is tightly linked to physical expression. And when you take away one of the most natural ways your body knows to express itself, something else often creeps in to take its place. Whether it's chronic tension, growing frustration, or a quiet sadness you can't quite explain. If any of this feels familiar, you're certainly not alone. The good news is, finding your way back to emotional balance doesn't require changing who you are. It simply asks you to listen, gently and openly, to what your body and mind may already be trying to tell you. Number 6, losing connection with your own body. One of the most subtle yet damaging effects of stopping masturbation altogether isn't physical or hormonal. It's the slow, quiet loss of connection with your own body. And this disconnection goes far beyond simple biology. As time passes and you stop engaging with yourself in any physical way, you can slowly lose touch with the basic awareness of how you feel, what you need, and where you still find joy. Many older men describe this by saying things like, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." Phrases like, "I just don't feel like myself anymore," or "I don't even recognize my body these days," are common among older men. While some of this is a natural part of aging, much of it actually stems from emotional detachment, the slow, quiet drift away from intimacy, not just with others, but with yourself. When we stop touching, exploring, or even thinking of ourselves in a sensual, connected way, we begin to see our bodies as nothing more than machines, tools we need to maintain, rather than parts of ourselves that deserve care, attention, and even admiration. This disconnection doesn't always announce itself loudly. It often appears in subtle ways at first. You may find yourself avoiding the mirror unless absolutely necessary. And when you do look, you may focus only on what's wrong, aches, wrinkles, or sagging skin, rather than seeing your body as something that is still alive, still capable, and still worthy of appreciation. You might feel less motivated to move, to dress well, or to engage in activities that once made you feel attractive, confident, or full of life. Masturbation, at its core, is a deeply private act of acknowledgement. It's a quiet way of saying, "I'm still here, I can still feel, I still matter." And when that form of connection is absent, especially for years at a time, the silence that replaces it can quietly grow into something more damaging: indifference. Not just toward sexual expression, but toward yourself as a whole. This emotional distance can have far more impact on your health than you might imagine. Studies have shown that maintaining body awareness is closely linked to better self-care, stronger immune responses, and even faster recovery from illnesses. When you stay connected to your body, not just through logic or obligation, but through meaningful, intimate experiences, you naturally become more likely to care for it, respect it, and nurture it in every stage of life. It's about reclaiming ownership over your aging process and embracing it with intention. This isn't about chasing after youth or pretending to be 30 again. It's not about clinging to old desires or trying to relive the past. Instead, it's about grounding yourself in the present moment, saying yes to small, steady reminders that you are still a complete person. You're not just a father, a grandfather, or a patient sitting in a clinic. You are a man with a body that still responds, still feels, and still deserves connection and care. When that connection starts to slip away, something deeper often fades with it: your sense of identity. You might begin to feel like a bystander in your own life, watching from the sidelines rather than participating fully. But when you bring your attention back to yourself, even in small, gentle ways, without pressure or expectation, It can quietly reignite something powerful within you, a subtle but undeniable sense of aliveness. You don't need anyone's approval to feel good in your own skin. You don't need to justify your actions to anyone, especially when they bring you back to yourself. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You are still here, still vibrant, still worthy. And the more you reconnect with yourself, the more you'll begin to feel that truth. Not just in your thoughts, but deep within your bones, your heart, and your spirit. If you're still watching this video and these insights are resonating with you, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future videos. Your support allows us to keep creating meaningful content to inform, inspire, and empower you. Now, let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we come to the end of this video, take a quiet moment to reflect on everything you've just heard. Which of these 6 changes spoke to you the most? Was there something that surprised you? Or perhaps something that gently confirmed what you've already been feeling deep down? This video isn't meant to shame or pressure anyone. It's here to gently remind you that growing older doesn't mean you have to disconnect from yourself. Your body is still yours. It still needs your attention, your care, and yes, your affection. Whether it's about supporting your prostate health, balancing your mood, or simply maintaining a respectful, healthy relationship with your body, these things matter, and most importantly, you matter. There is no age limit on self-worth, and there's never a point in life when that stops being true. You don't have to make dramatic changes to feel this connection again. Even the smallest intentional moments of self-awareness and self-care can make a lasting difference. If this video has given you a new way of thinking about your health, or if it has simply helped you feel seen and understood, then I'm grateful you're here. Thank you for spending your time with us today. I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you learned from this video and how you plan to apply it in your life moving forward. Your thoughts are important to us, and every comment you share gives us motivation and encouragement to keep going. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with others. Your support makes it possible for us to continue creating meaningful content to inform, inspire, and empower you. Wishing you health, happiness, and peace always. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more helpful videos.